Hi, I'm Andrew from Cruisemaster and welcome to the Towing Performance Centre. This is the first of a series of videos where we're building up two of our Dmaxes. When it comes to building up a vehicle for towing, it's really important that you keep an eye on your weights. So this episode is all about that. And the first step is we've got to get the vehicle onto the scales and get it weighed. Right, now we've weighed the car and the caravan, so we've got an idea of where all the weight is on the combination. Previously to this, we've weighed the car on its own, so we know what it weighs dry. So let's talk about the rest of the figures. When you have a vehicle by itself, there are two major weights that you need to consider. The first is the curb mass, which is the empty weight of the vehicle as delivered by the manufacturer. The second is the GVM, or gross vehicle mass. The GVM is the maximum weight the vehicle can weigh. The difference between the GVM and the curb is the vehicle's payload. Before we start adding the touring gear, we can't forget to account for the passengers. We need to make sure we cover up all the contributing weights to make sure that we're legal. Left over is our remaining payload. This is where we get to have fun adding all the touring gear like bull bars, roof racks, toolboxes and all that good stuff. Every time you add something to your build, you need to make sure it gets taken off the payload total. Once you start towing with the vehicle, there are a couple more figures you need to allow for, and this is where people often get caught out. Once you hook up a caravan or camper, you now need to allow for the GCM, or the gross combination mass. And this is the total weight of both the vehicle and the trailer connected together. You also need to consider the vehicle's brake towing capacity, which is the maximum the vehicle manufacturer is happy for you to tow. For our Dmax, we plan on towing up to 3.5 tons, so this is the maths. First, we start with the GCM. Then we take off the brake towing capacity, or in this case, the caravan's ATM. Next, we take off the curb load. And finally, we need to consider the weight of the occupants. This results in the payload, or what we can add to the vehicle. To make sure we stay under the GVM, we need to check the maths with the vehicle weight. So from our GVM, we take off 10% of the ATM for our bull weight. Next, we take off the curb weight, and finally the weight of the occupants. This then leaves us with the remaining GVM. So it's a different story if I was planning on only towing a 1-ton camper trailer. I'd be well under the allowed GCM and the brake towing capacity, with an extra 2.5 tons remaining on the GCM. And once we go over the maths for the GVM again, we can now see we have 630 kilos to play with for adding heavy gear. In this scenario, there's even the opportunity for a GVM upgrade on the vehicle, which will allow the Dmax to get close to another half a ton of payload while still remaining under the GCM. So that's the basics of towing weights. Now it can be a tricky subject and we haven't even got into axle capacities or ratings yet. If it all seems a bit complicated, give the guys here at the Towing Performance Centre a call and we'll be happy to help you out. Our next episode is all about the towing essentials, so keep an eye out for that.